And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Mitchell A., who writes, "Hey, John. The producers of the upcoming Predator prequel, now officially titled Skull, gave an interview revealing a number of things, but most importantly, that the film has almost finished filming. What do you think about this new interview and the upcoming film?" All right, so, it's funny. It was not long ago that somebody wrote in and asked about if they're going to do another Predator thing. And I'm like, I don't know. And I think one of the things I said was, for all I know, they're already shooting one. But I mean, I haven't heard anything about a new Predator film. It just completely flew under my radar because there is a new Predator film. And apparently it's almost finished filming. And nobody knows anything about it. And I don't know anything about who's in it. I don't know anything about the cast. It's just called Skull. Now, apparently it is a prequel. This much we know right now is that it's going to be a prequel to the stuff that we know. This comes to us from the this comes to us from the producers, John Davis and John Fox, who are, of course, the producers of Predator, who write, "It goes back to what made the original Predator movie work. It's the ingenuity of a human being who won't give up, who's able to observe and interpret, basically being able to beat a stronger, more powerful, well-armed force," he said. "It actually is more akin to The Revenant than it does to any of the previous Predator films. You'll know what I mean once you see it," Fox added. While Davis would not specify an exact timeline, instead saying, "You can use your imagination. It is early." It is early. So that's interesting. So they're going back to the whole idea of, person versus nature. That's kind of a cool idea. To say it's more Revenant than it is Predator, that's actually really exciting to me. Because when you think about that, man versus environment kind of film that is, a Predator, just replace a bear with a Predator and you got the makings for a pretty cool story there. Now, what's interesting is when they talk about the timeline, they just say it's early. So are we talking Dawn of Man early? Are we talking, Victorian era early? Are we talking, whatever? So I don't know, Rob, you hear about this thing about Predator. Number one, were you aware? Because maybe we talked about it even. I just forgot about it. Were you aware there was a new Predator film shooting? It's almost done shooting. And what timeline do you think this thing might take place in?
Honestly, I'm baffled by this because a new Predator movie shooting would be, I would imagine, kind of a big deal. Why would something like this be made under the radar? I have no idea. I'm flabbergasted, to be honest. I mean, look, I was not a fan of the last Predator movie, but the movie before that, Predators, the Robert Rodriguez did he direct it? I think he produced it, but I liked it. The one with Larry Fishburne and Adrian. Why am I trying to blank his last name? Brody. I liked it. And so I love the Predator franchise. I like Predator 2 a great deal. And of course, I like the original. So I'm surprised that this movie is underneath the radar. Now I want to know all about it. Where did it come from? Who's directing it? Who wrote it? Who greenlit it? Who did the effects?
There are many questions. They've been able to do something here in this era that is incredibly difficult to do. In an age and era where we have everybody in the world is able to walk around with a global audiovisual communications device that can instantly spread information like wildfire. To keep a project like really under wraps is pretty impressive. Anyway, Kim, you hear about this. Number one, what do you think about a new Predator movie? Is it like a Die Hard situation? Is it something they should have moved on from? Because, I was so excited for Shane Black's Predator. I was so excited for that movie, and it was awful. So I don't know where they're going to go with it. But anyway, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm excited about it. I'm actually excited about it. I love the original Predator. I pretty much don't like any of the other ones. However, I think that Dan Trachtenberg did a great job with 10 Cloverfield Lane. And what makes the first one great is the suspense. They're in the jungle. For most of the movie, you don't even know what's going down. And so I think he's got the suspense factor. But something that when he made that comment about how far back they're going, I was thinking about the one with Danny Glover. And when he was fighting all the predators and one of them, this was so random, by the way, handed him like it was this old gun that looked like the gun that shot Alexander Hamilton. It was like 1776 style. And that's what it makes me think where they're going to go when he says like they're going the way of the Revenant. Like this is like Oregon Trail gone wrong. And so it made me think of that scene because that was so random. There's so many random things in that movie anyway, but that was really random. And so I think they're going to do a callback to that and kind of tell the story of where that gun came from.
Ooh. Because
that's the era I think that they're going to go with. And because you got to have weapons of some sort to kind of fight the thing. But I think it could be interesting. But I think that they picked the right director that can bring the suspense because honestly, people try to be real quippy with the one-liners. And that was something that made the original Predator, great with, your sexual Tyrannosaurus Rex and whatever. And a lot of great one-liners, However, when something's just so natural and you try to copy it, that's when you're just going wrong. But I feel like if they get back to the suspense, everything else will follow.
Right.
And because that's the purest form of Predator for me. I'm such a huge fan. So I have a lot of faith in this. I don't feel the same way about it as I do with Die Hard. I'm actually excited.
All right. Well, the question becomes for you guys. What do you think about them making another Predator movie? My overall feelings have soured on Predator a bit just because of my big disappointment with Predator, but maybe they can come back with a vengeance on this. How are you guys feeling about it? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.